Welcome back to Virginia this morning. Were you aware that February is International Boost Self-Esteem Month? It's been reported that approximately 85% of people around the world certainly have issues with self-esteem that can lead to negative behaviors and certainly affect your overall mental health.
Dr. Lakeisha Hite joins us today to talk about how you can get and maintain a healthy sense of self-worth. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to both of you all.
Great to see you.
It seems appropriate for the month of February when you talk about love and self-confidence that we'd be focused on this in this particular month.
Absolutely. The actual theme of self-love always raises your self-esteem. You know, you have to look inwardly and know that you have those capabilities inwardly in order for you to even exude it outwardly. And people do not understand how self-esteem catapults you into a better space.
Dr. Hite, we talk often about the holidays being that point, that touch point on the calendar that makes this self-reflective part of you come out. I think especially with Valentine's Day, we've had this conversation a lot. You mentioned that month of love where you're taking stock, maybe if you're measuring what kind of love am I receiving, am I giving, am I loved, goes hand in hand with the self-esteem. What if this has been a lifelong issue? This starts early.
It does. What people do not realize is that self-esteem starts in childhood. So depending upon your upbringing, your childbearing years is when you instill self-esteem and values and morals inside of your children. You know, school systems raise children, the home environment raise children, society raise children. And what we tend to not do is give praise. Little praise goes a long way. If a child is criticized a lot coming up in upbringing, then they kind of hold on to that, and then that starts building their personality and shape who they are. So by the time they get into teenagers, young adulthood, that self-esteem is very plummeted.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So for those who may have identified, hey, you know what, my self-esteem is low. For some people that could be my self-esteem is low today, or my self-esteem is low leading up to something in particular, as opposed to it being a constant.
Generally, self-esteem issues is a constant. Okay. You know, usually people who say, okay, today is a bad day, they give themselves that day and then they move forward. People who really struggle with self-esteem issues, it becomes a self-loathing situation. It becomes a constant day in, day out, and then they start comparing themselves to other people. We all know social media is a big thing out there that really diminishes self-esteem. And so when you see other people that you're trying to live up to, and you feel like you can't, or you've always been told that you will never be good enough, or you're not good enough, or you do not look like what this needs to be, that self-esteem starts to run really, really deep.
And as I'm listening, you know, from a parent's perspective, from a woman's perspective, there's so many different levels to begin to unpack. What are some of the changes that we can make? I mean, of course, when I'm hearing about social media, we read articles often about setting the phone down, but what are some of the changes that we can make to recognize that self-esteem is low and that we want to work on that and nurture it?
Absolutely. Praise and validation, that's the best gift a parent can give their child. When they do something good, praise them for that, give them validation. Even when they do something that's incorrect, you praise the good parts that got them there. Just, hey, I know you did this, but next time you can do it this way, and I know that you can do it better. The more positive language and the more positive statements that you give to your child, that will increase their self-esteem. You have those conversations with them. Let them know their self-worth. Let them know that you are loved unconditionally, you know, inside of this family system.
And if you're dealing with that yourself and trying to coach yourself through that, do you have the same conversation? Are you praising yourself little bits as you go?
Absolutely. You know, the biggest thing is waking up every morning or going to sleep every night. You look in that mirror and give yourself self-affirmations. I'm a good person. I love myself. Today is going to be a good day. Now, life happens. We know that. We know that things can happen that can cause your day to go on. But just identify how much time am I going to give this? Okay, I've gotten into an argument today with my spouse. I'm only going to give 15 minutes to that. After that, then it comes back to me. You know, do not just wash it away. Acknowledge it for what it is. Be aware of what you're feeling, and then let it go.
We've talked about this being critically important in childhood. And for parents to foster that as you've progressed in life and you recognize that this is an issue, an ongoing issue. Self-praise, I've heard you say, recognizing maybe accomplishments and trying to minimize self-doubt.
Correct.
What else can we do?
Another thing is learn something new. So for instance, I want to learn a foreign language, Spanish. And do baby steps. I'll learn the first 10 numbers. Okay, once I get the first 10 numbers, then I'll learn the next 10. Once I get to 100, then I'll move to the days of the week, and then I'll move to the months. Once you start seeing that you are accomplishing things, you're putting all of that goodness back into you because you can see the fruit of your labor, if you will.
That is, yeah. So it's really taking off chewable pieces, whether it is, encouraging yourself in a specific way, starting somewhere.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you only have you. You come into this world, just you. Even if you're born a twin, you still only have you. The self-love that you instill in yourself increases your self-confidence, it increases your self-esteem. You give yourself validation. And we are our own worst critics. We have to erase those negative thoughts that we get. We always self-doubt more than anyone else, and we do not realize that. If we change that into positive thoughts, positive things, adding exercise and eating well, talking to people that's not toxic, because the people that you surround yourself with can also bring that down. And you just do that every day. Every day, once you see that progress and you go and you continue to go, it's like losing weight. Hey, I like their first 5 pounds. I want to lose 10. I want to lose 15. And then it goes into a maintenance phase.
Our own self-critic, biggest, strongest self-critic. Let's try being our own best friend.
Exactly. Change that negative to a positive every day.
Dr. Hite, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome to see you again with us.
For more information on the services that Dr. Lakeisha Hite provides, just visit our website early this afternoon at virginiathismorning.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.